A lot of them. 9 months. I've had 9 months to make this decision, and yet, here we are, mere days before the release of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, and I still haven't decided which starter to choose. This issue has been haunting me this whole time. I mean, this has been a constant thing in my life, trying to make this decision and just failing. Every day, waking up, failing, and going to sleep, waking up, failing, and going to sleep again. So that, my friends, is why we're making this video today. The camera is on. The camera is rolling. The microphone, the recorder is on. It is hot. It is rolling as well. I'm eating up data here, and we are going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to talk about the Gen 9 starters, and I promise, this is the only way I could think to do it, I promise that by the end of this video, I will make my decision. I will choose a Gen 9 starter. By the end of this video. Here we go. This is it. No backing out now. No backing out at all. We are here. We are stuck. We are gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Before we start, I will say, it's actually kind of funny that choosing starters has become so hard for me because I feel like earlier on in my Pokemon playing journey, it was a lot easier. I don't know if it's just me changing or if it's just coincidence, just, you know, every individual set of starters is different or what, I'm not sure why, but it was a whole lot easier back in the day. You know, Bulbasaur just felt right to me in Gen 1, just kind of made sense, fell in love with Bulbasaur. Gen 2, Totodile was an easy pick. Just so easy. I mean, over time, I did grow to really like Cyndaquil, so if I had to go through the whole thing again, it might be a little bit harder, but at the time, Totodile, look at him. He's perfect, easy, done. But then, like, after those first 2 generations, I feel like I have never been that confident again. Just like ever. Like, it feels like the only times I was ever pretty confident about a starter was when I wasn't actually playing the games, you know, like back when I wasn't playing them, but I would still keep up with them and like see the starters and stuff, you know, like Rowlet. Like, I'm like, oh man, I sure wish I played around then. Rowlet was perfect. And Sword and Shield is when I got back into Pokemon, and you know, I thought Sobble was pretty good. I think out of all like the first forms, Sobble, okay, yeah. Sobble, I lean towards Sobble. It's a fairly strong pick, and then I ended up really hating the evolutions, and all the evolutions of all that generation of starters really just didn't like them. So I'm like definitely hoping for better luck this time when it comes to the evolutions, and I know a lot of people already know what they're gonna be. There's been leaks, and people are looking and having it all spoiled, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. That would solve this problem right here, right now, but I'm not gonna do that. That spoils the fun, defeats the purpose. Not gonna do it. So we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. We're gonna look at each of the 3 starters and weigh their pros and cons. And sadly, there is no obvious first pick. Even not considering evolutions, there is no one single one of these starters that really just clicks with me, which is, I mean, like, it's not even that I dislike them. I feel like they're all equally good, you know? And that's a pretty good place to be. But of course, that's also why I'm in this situation. They all have good things about them. So okay, so let's take a look. Okay, let's start with Sprigatito. Okay, Sprigatito would be a good choice for a number of reasons. You know, I tend to lean toward grass starters. You know, I'm a filthy casual. I love grass Pokemon. Just like in my life, I just love leaves and trees and plants and vines and all that stuff. And of course, Bulbasaur was my very first Pokemon ever. So like, it's built into me as a person. I like grass starters. Furthermore, I'm a cat person. I love cats. I grew up with cats. I connect with cats. I myself am basically a cat. Not literally, I'm a monster, but I have many cat-like qualities in my personality. However, I don't usually go for cat stuff in games, just because it tends to be a little too, just kind of cutesy for me. Sprigatito is really cute. I mean, like, if Pokemon was real life, like, I would love a Sprigatito. I really love Sprigatito's design. Really cute, really nice. So, I mean, you know, a solid pick. Then you've got Quaxly. I am also a big fan of ducks. I love ducks. What it is, I positively love them. They're adorable and hilarious, and they got their little beaks and their little webby feet, and the idea of having a duck starter is just, it's such an unusual choice. It's such a cute choice, and I like that. I'm not super into the whole hair thing, how that's just like, that's Quaxly's things, the hair, that's kind of part of the design. Overall, visually, I'm not super in love with Quaxly, but the duck thing, just the fact that it's a duck starter, I love that. That makes it, that itself, just the pure, raw uniqueness of it, and how much I love ducks, also makes that a good choice. Lastly, Fuecoco, real Totodile vibes. Like I said, love Totodile. And so that's a plus right there. You know, Fuecoco seems to be some kind of weird little gator thing, I think, and I like that. Without a doubt, the most interesting, unique design out of all three of them. It doesn't really seem to be based on any one singular animal, and I like that. I usually prefer a Pokemon that's just like a mix of things, or it's just kind of a cool creature, not just like an animal or a thing, you know? It's kind of an apple, like kind of a weird apple thing going on. Not sure exactly what that's about. Kind of weird, kind of cute, not really sure. I'm not generally super into fire starters, so that's a slight minus, but the design is just so good and it's just so funny and cute. So that's another really solid choice. The thing about starters though, you know it, I know it, it's not just about how they look when you first get them. It's about what they may or may not evolve into. Whatever weird, horrific creatures that they might become. And again, I know I could just go look at the leaks and that would solve everything, but I'm not gonna do it, So we must look at the designs and just like thematically consider what they might turn into. So let's look at all three again in that light. Sprigatito. I like cats, but I'm not always super into larger cats. I mean, like in real life, they're cool, but like, again, I don't like them as much in media. I'm really not sure what it is. I'm not like completely against it. I'm kind of wary of it. And there's a very good chance that Sprigatito is gonna turn into like a big lion or something. And I'm not super into that idea. It's just not quite my thing. And that would be like a more natural course, but then like if it ends up turning into a bipedal large cat, like a cat person of any kind, you lost me. You lose me completely, you know? But like I said, I love grass Pokemon, and if it ends up turning into some kind of like more, I don't know, just kind of like cool, sleek looking cat with some cool kind of design that I haven't really considered, then I would be really sad to miss out on it. So it kind of feels like Sprigatito has like a higher chance of failure, but then a higher return on success if it does end up being good, you know? And so in that way, a bit of a risk. Then Quaxly, it seems kind of obvious they're going for like a Don Quixote sort of thing, and you know, Quaxly even does the little hair flippy thing. Obviously the hair is important, so it does seem most likely that Quaxly is gonna turn into a very man-like figure. And I'm really, really extra not into that at all. And so like, again, pretty big risk, could turn into something I really don't like, but I simply cannot shake the uniqueness of having a duck starter. I can't, even considering that this might not end up very good at all, I can't get rid of that feeling, that desire to have a duck starter. You know what I mean? It's just such an odd choice, you know, just kind of silly, kind of fun. And even if I don't end up liking the final form, I'll still enjoy the heck out of having a little duck guy as my partner for the, you know, the first leg of the game at the very least. And then Fuecoco. When I look at this thing, I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to turn into some big, stompy monster. You know, some sort of big mouth, big feet, just big, weird monster. Probably quadrupedal, you know, just big and scary and or goofy. Probably more goofy, but just still very, just kind of intimidating. I'm less into that, especially with it being a fire type. You know, fire types, they like to be all like, rah, you know, and Fuecoco has also got the whole apple kind of theme going on. And so like what I don't like Pokemon always that are themed after really specific things. So if it ends up being like a big apple thing or like an apple pie thing or something, I'm definitely not gonna be into that. So right here, we have got definitely the most interesting choice as far as the first forms go, but who even knows what this thing is gonna eventually turn into? You know, a duck and a bigger duck and a biggest duck, cat, biggest cat, sure. This thing, what is this gonna be? I am not even sure. Okay, so here we go. We've looked at the starters, we've considered what their evolutions might be, and considering all of that, which one comes out on top? The answer is, the best one is... I don't know. Every time I think I've got it figured out, I look at the other starters and I start to reconsider. You know, like I can logic all of this out all I want, but when you consider the great mystery of the evolutions, there's just no right answer. The mystery of the final form throws everything off, and like any one of them could completely surprise me with its final form. This is impossible. This is impossible. Fraggle Rock. Fraggle Rock coined a term that I still feel like should be used widely today. The word is wemble. To wemble is to move back and forth between decisions, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you just can't make a decision. You cannot make up your mind. That is to wemble, and I am a wembler. I'm a wembler through and through. Always have been. I don't know what it is. It's just like when you've got multiple choices and all of them seem equally good, then like you want to make the right decision. You really want to make the right decision, and it's so hard. I spend way too much time weighing all the pros and cons and just getting absolutely nowhere. And sometimes when I realize I'm wembling, I try to look at the problem from a different angle. You gotta go with just a different perspective. So let's do that. Let's do that here. Okay, so sometimes when I have a problem, I'm trying to make a decision or whatever, solve a problem, it is not enough for me to try to consider what I want to have the most, like what the best outcome is, and instead, I try to focus on what my priorities are. Like, instead of looking at what outcome would make me happiest, you just try to say, you go back to the root of the problem. What are my priorities? What do I want to get out of this decision? Okay, great. So what are my priorities? The first thing that comes to mind is I have been trying to do new things. I've been putting a really big focus just in my life as a whole on new experiences. Like just like taking risks, you know, like just experiencing new things. Like it's just, it's been hitting me more than ever recently just how little time we have on this planet. So instead of falling back on my known comforts and preferences and all that stuff, I have instead been trying to just go for the unknown. I've been trying to make new kinds of choices, and I've been finding that even when the outcome isn't the objectively best outcome, there is value in just the newness. There is always a value in experiencing new things. You know, it's good for your brain. It's actually really literally good for your brain. So there we go. I have my priority. So let's look at the starters again for a third time in that new light. Okay, here we go. This is good. We're getting somewhere. This is good. I feel it. We're getting close here. Okay, Sprigatito. By its very nature, it is something of a safe bet, right? You know, like, it's a grass starter. I love grass starters, and it's an animal that I like. So, like, you know, it's hard to count it out completely because there is a chance that the final form could potentially be super duper awesome or whatever, but, like, I don't know. Basically, there's no denying that it is kind of safe in its own way. It's the grass starter. It's a cat. If Arlo picked a cat grass starter, people would be like, yeah, that makes sense, you know? Now, Quaxley might be an animal that I like, but seems like probably more of a risk than Sprigatito. There's a fairly high probability that the final form will be something pretty silly that I won't like. You know, I don't want another Inteleon on my hands. But that riskiness is appealing. I don't want to end up with a final form that I dislike, but yeah, like I said, just that risk factor, the uniqueness, so that it still makes it a pretty good choice. Then we've got Fuecoco. Yeah, it really might turn into something big and stompy and weird, but like, whatever it is, it's gonna be interesting, right? Like, just look at this early design, the first form. Like, whatever it is, it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be something that's not just a biggest cat or a biggest duck man, like, that's for sure. It is a mystery. I might not like it, but I do like the first form design the most out of all three, so surely that might bode well for the evolutions, right? Maybe, at least kind of potentially. So it's kind of a risk, maybe a new unexpected experience, but then taking that risk also feels kind of right because I already like it. You know what I mean? It's like I already like it and its evolutions are a risk, but an interesting risk. Is this maybe the best of both worlds? If I like the first form the most and the end form is the most weird and mysterious out of all of these? It's Fuecoco, isn't it? Yeah, it's Fuecoco. Yeah, I think I did it. I think the whole priorities thing, I think that really did the trick. It's Fuecoco. We did it. You know what? I'm calling it right now. I will not think about this topic even one more time until I play the game. It's Fuecoco. Made the decision. We did it. We did it. Oh, that's a relief. That feels good. It's just days before launch. That feels good to get that out of the way. You know what? I've been solving a lot of problems with this whole priorities thing. A lot of them. I mean, that's a heck of a strategy right there. You can use that one in your own decision-making and problem-solving. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So there you go. It's Fuecoco. It's Fuecoco, everyone. It's Fuecoco. I am going to choose Fuecoco as my starter when I play Pokemon Violet. Which was not a hard decision to make because Miraidon is the coolest. So that is it. Thank you so much for joining me and helping me make this decision. You all really helped me a lot today. Go down in the comments and let me know what starter you're choosing and just have a whole bunch of explanations and rationalization for why you're choosing it. I don't have an outro for this video. Didn't write one. But I feel great. Me feeling great about my decision is the outro for this video. Just soak it in. Yeah. Soak it all in. I feel awesome. Hashtag Fuecoco. Fuecoco. You got like Sobble Squad. Like a Grookey gang. Fuecoco. Fuecoco. I got nothing. I got nothing. I don't have the tiniest little bit of nothing. Fuecoco. Fuecoco. Oh! Friends! Hashtag Fuecoco friends! Yeah!